Were you going to talk about the mass escape from Twitter? I saw this really funny post. Let me see if I can find it real quick, where there were Chinese government officials that were upset that it was getting more difficult to spread propaganda on Twitter because Twitter's proportional user base has been plummeting, and they invested a lot. I would want a second source on this. Semaphore. Does anyone know anything about this news outlet? Semaphore.com? Unserious? Semaphore is good. They're pretty good, I think. An intelligent, transparent global news platform for something something. Okay. I like that the background is yellow. It kind of makes me feel like I'm on an older internet webpage. Chinese state media is reportedly troubled by the latest exodus of X users. We can call it X now if we want to, I think, because it's dead. It's X is a corpse, I think. Flocking to Bluesky. State outlets, which put considerable resources into amassing millions of followers on Elon Musk's social media platform, including by buying ads, deploying bots, and hiring influencers, have recently seen their growth plateau. The growing popularity of Bluesky, which has a largely liberal base and harder to manipulate algorithm, has sparked worried chatter within Chinese state media circles, a formal Xinhua and China Daily employee wrote in his newspaper. That's funny. The idea of Elon being so incompetent that foreign agents are upset that they can't use it as a platform for propagandizing. It's like, is it good? Is it bad? I think it's funny, first and foremost. Save us, President Xi. Kind of half unironically. This week, a series of migrations has added buzz to Bluesky. On Tuesday, the app passed the 20 million mark, adding 1 million accounts in a day. Pretty impressive. And overtook Threads worldwide for the number of active daily users. And considering the fact that Threads has the backing of Instagram, that's pretty impressive. For Chinese state media, the rise couldn't have come at a worse time. They've sunk considerable resources into Twitter via unlabeled state-sponsored influencers. Dude, there are so many of these. There's a ton of them on TikTok where it's like trad wife, ASMR influencer accounts where they'll show you like the virtues of peaceful rural living or in a provincial China or whatever. And they're getting paid by the Chinese government, but they don't disclose it. With Bluesky looking likely to emerge past Threads, Mastodon, Substack notes as the escape of choice, there's worried chatter within Chinese state media circles as to how to address the problem. Very, very funny. So Twitter is pretty cooked. I still think that Twitter is going to persist in some form or another, basically indefinitely, because it's pretty difficult for a social media site to actually stop existing, right? GeoCities, even MySpace still exists, limps along, but MySpace got replaced in a much more substantial way, I think, than how Twitter can. Twitter's strength is that it's bare bones. You know what I mean? It's so fundamental. You don't have this whole page construction, whatever. You put a tweet out, the tweet's out. It's very simple. So it's as a root idea, it's pretty difficult to destroy or invalidate or make obsolete. So I don't think any of that's going to happen. That being said, Twitter is getting increasingly unusable, and we all know why. You look at any tweet and all the top replies are from blue check bots that are sampling from ChatGPT to build up their own profile page so that when they invariably get all those bots, they're doing it for a reason. Those bots get sold. All the bots that you see with all the ChatGPT responses, the reason that happens is because they want to build up a profile or a base of responses so that they look more legitimate when they get bought out in favor of bot ad campaigns. So if somebody wants to buy 100,000 bots to say, for example, I don't know, say that groceries have never been cheaper than, once Donald Trump comes into office or whatever, they have they're not just a blank profile, They're building up an army. And Twitter is designed to make it really, 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 really easy for bots to be used in that way. The site has basically no security against it. It's extremely easy to manipulate. It always has been, but it's gotten worse under Elon. So, But yeah, Bluesky is blowing up right now, which is good. I don't know how much it's going to actually eclipse Twitter, though have you guys noticed? I've been seeing this more and more often. There are these there are so many large blue check accounts on Twitter that have clearly been sold, and just instantly turn into MAGA shills. I saw the Santa Decides account. There were like I saw the community notes goes hard. Okay, there were a bunch of them where just like random blue check accounts that didn't contribute much of anything to the site, but probably made a decent amount of ad revenue. And then they got sold or just taken, and they turn into like MAGA bots, basically. Oh yeah, community notes violating people. There are a lot of them that just turn into like chud bot farm accounts. The fact that they're getting bought up for that, and then they get bought, and then they lose a bunch of viewership because everyone who follows them is instantly like, why are you a bot? You know, a MAGA bot now. What are you doing? It makes me wonder like who's financing all those purchases, you know? If it's like Elon buying them out for cheap, or if it's like a Russian oligarch kind of thing. Yeah, I don't really know. Some UK police forces have even left Twitter because of how much of a shithole it is. Oh, this article is from today. Several British police forces have largely withdrawn from Elon Musk's social media platform as concerns over its role in promoting violence and extremist content persist. We gotta get out of here, lads. Hoop, 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 hoop. The little truncheons, they march in uniform in lockstep. You got a license for that propaganda. Exactly. It's pretty crazy. It's impossible to know how much like all social media is going to fall down this pit given enough time, because there will be like the Trump administration is going to make threats to, you know, Zuckerberg and so on every day that will like tantamount to like, why are people legally allowed to be mean to me on Facebook and YouTube and stuff? Like, what, you know, why are you letting that happen? This is basically like an attack against me. This is a violation of my free speech. So you can expect a pretty serious right-wing shift in all social media because they all like kowtow to the whining of the president. Even Bluesky? Yeah, why not? Even Bluesky. Twitter also has a problem with gore content. Yeah, they fired like all of their content moderation. Remember when they got rid of all the people whose job it was to weed out like child sexual abuse material? It was in the like Southeast Asian region, an area that covers like 800 million people. And they had one guy whose job it was to cover that entire region for that. Would hate to be that guy. That job has to suck. Mastodon can't kowtow to the president because there's no single Mastodon. Yeah, but the counter to that is that no one cares about Mastodon because it is and always will be like a hyper-specific tech nerd haven that doesn't appeal to people as social media because it requires too much finicking to get into. Sorry, it's useful in its contexts, but it's not like social media the way people need it to be, you know? What about Tumblr? Are we just like listing every social media platform we know of? What are you asking me? Does Tumblr exist? Yeah, Tumblr exists. What do you want me to say about it? Tumblr's been dead for a long time since they banned porn. Tumblr, the porn aggregate site, they banned porn on it. Then everyone flooded over to Twitter, and now that's the main like porn site, basically. But now people are going to flood away from there because 99% of porn is created by like queer artists, the hoes, and it's not a good environment for them. So they're going to, you know, go over to Bluesky or whatever. Bring back the hoes. They're probably going to be on Bluesky. They let pornography on Bluesky? I don't know if they do. I said this yesterday, but it's kind of like a difficult balancing act because, oh, they do? Okay, I don't know. It's a difficult balancing act because on one hand, like, I don't like the fact that if you're 5 years old now and you go on a computer and go to any of the most popular websites in the world and type in girl, the first like video pop-up on the bottom underneath the search results will be somebody getting fisted in their asshole. That's probably a little bit bad. I think that it can just like not, you don't even have to look, man. Twitter, anything you search on Twitter instantly gives you pornography in results. It's pretty wild, honestly, that there's no barrier to that. But at the same time, like I do not endorse the broader trend of extreme prudishness and social conservatism that is leading to stuff like credit card service providers not allowing people to create Patreons for not safe for work art or whatever else, you know, like or PayPal not like supporting people who do sex work. I don't support any of that, you know. So art is art. Yeah, art is art. You know, it's a thing. Things are things. That is true. I do believe that. People have come after me for believing that in the past, but you know, I stand by my principles. I don't know how well things are going to go with Bluesky, to be honest with you. It seems like it's the enshittification thing, right? Like Bluesky seems fine now, but everything on the internet gets worse over time. Literally everything, right? Like every idea gets made worse. A lot of this is due to private ownership, or sorry, non-private, public ownership, where if you have a bunch of shareholders whose value, you like share value you need to increase, you have to like, oh, you know, we're changing the format, we're changing the layout, new thing, new thing, new thing, new thing, new thing, and then invariably, like, you it all up. Is Bluesky, I don't think Bluesky is public, but at some point, like, you know, don't put it past the market. Enjoy the time you have before it gets enshittified, I suppose. The reason why Steam hasn't enshittified is that it's owned by one guy. You know that once Gabe Newell dies, Steam is instantly going to become like a piece of shit, right? Like he is like the one-man dam holding back. Nah, he has a successor lined up. Never trust the successors of emperors, okay? Don't worry, okay? Our glorious emperor has handpicked the successor. I don't trust it. I've seen this play out poorly before. It's we need to make sure he lives forever. He's held on pretty well. Bluesky is public. Bluesky is public? I don't think they trade on that. I don't think there's Bluesky shares. Yeah, no, I don't think it's public. It's federated. Why do we like Gabe? Isn't he a rich like the rest? Well, if you don't know anything about Gabe Newell, then why would you know, rich people can be different from other rich people. It's possible. In the case of him, he's like the one-man plan. He's holding back the, you know, enshittification of Steam. And Steam's already pretty shit, but for like different reasons. Yeah, he's ideologically libertarian, but he's actually principled, you know, which is crazy because basically all libertarians are just fascists, but he's not. So that's cool. Anyway, weren't we talking about Twitter? Yeah, Twitter is Twitter's cooked. It's been cooked for a long time. You know, it's getting like the cookery is increasing exponentially as more people leave for Bluesky, and the actual reasons to be on Twitter decrease over time. So I guess we'll see like how rapidly that process continues, or to what extent it will continue. Surprised it's lasted this long, TBH. Well, don't worry, okay? Considering the fact that Elon Musk is the shadow president, don't put it past the Trump administration to, like, I don't know, subsidize the fuck out of Twitter. They'll be like, since X is the bastion of free speech in the West, the priority of the, you know, the government should be to ensure that it is not destroyed by evil competitors like Bluesky, which are corrupted by the woke mob. And for this reason, we will be personally executing every person associated with Bluesky's development, and we will be giving $1 trillion to Twitter and such and such. Twitter's changing the rules in 2019, banning state media from buying ads and throttling their accounts via a tweaked algorithm hurt, labeling them as state media hurt further. Overnight viewership plummeted. In the year to 2020, China Daily added 1 million Twitter followers. Since then, it's lost 200,000. Obscene scenarios saw outlets like CGTN, who profess to have 13 million followers, garner just a handful of likes per post. Very nice. As it should be. Holy shit! I really got to get on TikTok, man. What the hell? The average Brit spent 13.5 times more time on TikTok than they did on Twitter, and 4.5 times more on Facebook. More than double the time on TikTok than YouTube. No wonder they're cooked over there. Twitter's right up there with Facebook Messenger and behind WhatsApp. Twitter revenue keeps plummeting. Yeah, that hasn't changed for a while. Updated October 18th, 2024. What's the recent hit? Acquired for $44 billion. Twitter generated $3.4 billion revenue in 2023, a 22% decline year on year. Oh no. Oh dear. Oh no. He did tell advertisers to go f themselves. That is true. That is true. I really do have to produce content for TikTok. Like, do people on TikTok do the same thing as they do on YouTube Shorts? Like in YouTube Shorts, they always begin the video where the video ends so that it perfectly loops. Do they do that on TikTok, or is that just because YouTube Shorts tend to loop? And for TikTok, yes, no, yes, yes, no, no, yes, no, yes. Gotcha. Phenomenal. Good TikTokers do it. Okay, so I won't. Thank you.